I told you about the center of Christ and the center of Shri Krishna and their relationship with each other. Now the last and the most important one within us is the center of Sahasrara, is the limbic area. When you enter into it, you become thoughtlessly aware. This is the area to be entered through the Kundalini, through the center of Christ, through the gate of Christ, and that's why it is written that you have to enter through Him. But not by somebody else saying, I am the Christ, or he's saying, I profess Christ and Christ. This is not the way. Christ is within us, and when the Kundalini rises, if it stops at this center, you have to take His name. Not the people who are not realized, but realized people have to chant His name. Then only the Kundalini pierces through that center of Christ. That's the door, that's the gate He's talked about. And then you enter into the kingdom of God. Thou shalt inherit the kingdom of God. Inherit. That's your Father's kingdom, and that you have to inherit. But now the most important is the last center of Sahasrara, where you have all the 7 centers placed, one after another. These centers are really the seats of all the deities we have talked about. The seats are in the brain, their aura is around the heart, but they are actually sleeping in the sthanas, as they call the places of centers. So it is in 3 ways you can understand. One, in the brain there are 7 centers of the seats, and their auras are falling on the heart. Their places are in the center. At the first stage of the awakening of the Kundalini, only these deities get awakened. That means when you chant any word or you call them by name, they react. In the sense they open the chakras. You can feel it, you can see it clearly with your own eyes, the Kundalini rising through that. Then later on, when you grow more and more, these deities leave their places and occupy their seats. And even the spirit which is in the heart comes up here on the fontanelle bone area, where there is the heart, seat of the heart center, which is the heart here, organ goes there. But it is at a much later state. That state, that much later time, you can say much later state of your mind. You get into that speed in which you just achieve that state. It is an achievement. It cannot be a false certificate from somebody, or one can say this is written in the books or this and this. There's no calculation like that. It has to mature in its living way, and you yourself will know that you have got now complete self-realization. First thing you get is thoughtless awareness. With this, you cross the gate of Christ. You can cure people, you can raise the Kundalini. You may also be able to give realization to people. But still, you are capable of falling out. Supposing a person comes with negative forces and fanaticism, he may encompass you and you may go down. But the second stage is called as the doubtless awareness. If you rise into that, then you have no doubts whatsoever. You never fall down. Maybe your Kundalini comes and goes and supplies, and sometimes you feel the catches, is all right. But after that, you are so sure of yourself and of your achievement, your self-realization, that you never fall off. But the last one is the very important thing, where many Sahaja Yogis also falter, is the integration. For example, if somebody is born a Christian, he could have been born a Hindu, he could have been born anything. He could have been a Muslim. Mostly I have seen one fanatic, like a Muslim, if he is a fanatic, he is born today as a fanatic Hindu or a fanatic Christian. These are all fanatics. They go from one swing to another swing and they profess. He'll have a Quran in his hand, this fellow will have Bible in his hand, the another will have Gita in his hand. Three of them are fighting. He says, I am correct, he says, I am correct, and he says, I am correct. Now what is the authority? Even of these books, people will ask, what is the authority of Bible? What is the authority of Gita? And what is the authority of Quran? They'll say, what is the authority of Old Testament? If they ask the authority, what is the answer? And you can ask, what is my authority? Must ask this question. In the beginning, people do ask, what is my authority? My authority is that I give you realization. And you ask a question, Mother, are you the authority? You get vibrations. This is my authority. Then you will understand why Bible is right, Quran is right, and Gita is right. Because of the narrow vision we have. Say we are born as a Christian, then we'll stick on to it. If you are Catholics, we'll be Protestants. If you are Protestant, we'll become a Seventh-day Adventists, Pentecostalists, this, that, born again, this, that nonsense. We'll go on ending up like that in a Christian genealogy, from one madness to another madness, achieving nothing, believing into some sort of a theoretical thing, like Seventh-day Adventist. I can't understand. These theories and these things are not going to give you living experience, which is beyond rationality, which is beyond mind, which is baptism, the real sense of the word, where you get this breeze in the hand of the Holy Spirit. But we want to play about with these things with our narrow visions. Now see one case of Christ. Christ was definitely, as I told you, was Pranava, Onkara, everything was there, no doubt. But when he was born, there were signs and everything. Despite all that, there was a king who wanted to kill him. See the negativity. No intellectual accepted him. No bureaucrat accepted him. No educated person accepted him. He had to actually beg of those very ordinary, mediocre people like fishermen to come and become his disciples. See the situation. And he was allowed to live only for 4 years by these horrible people. They may be born today as Christians and must be saying, we are Christians and Christ and Christ and Christ. That's why Christ has said, I will not recognize you. They might be the people who might have crucified Christ. And they are again crucifying him by denying the living force of the living God. 4 years. Now what can you do in 4 years? I told you 4 years with all my powers. I was struggling with 6 hippies, giving them realization in London city. He never even thought of giving realization because he thought, first of all, they have no brains even to understand what is realization. Whatever he said it very precise and deep. If anything that is narrow has to be deep, which cannot go into the heads of people who just listen to sermons and lectures and read books and sort of have big theories built up into anything. It will only be possible when you get your realization, when you get your collective consciousness, when you become baptized, then only you will be able to see what he talked about. Before that, it's only mental activity, quarreling, fighting, and living on artificial things. How long are you going to do like that? Your forefathers did it, their forefathers did it, and their forefathers have done it. Now, is it not time for you to see that a new age has come? What are you going to lose by that? You form organizations, false and false and false. There should be some honesty about it. Just talking morning till evening, you are not going to receive any knowledge about Christ, I can tell you. This narrow vision of Christianity has killed Christ and Christianity both. The narrow vision of Jews has killed Moses and Abraham. The narrow vision of Krishna and the narrow vision of all these people has killed. They have deadened them. Your children are going to challenge you. They are going to ask you what foolish things you have been doing all your lives. They are going to ask you, why did you do it? Have you any answer to give? For that, one has to understand that we have not found our absolute. You be honest to yourself, have you found your absolute? We have not yet found our absolute. That's what you have to find. You have to be born again, not to certificate yourself that I am born again. I have seen many people, I am born again. Really? How do you say? Can you feel the chakras of another person? Are you collectively conscious? Can you feel your own chakras? Can you clarify yourself? Is there any transformation? No transformation. Then you have among Jews also very fanatic people. Muslims have lost even the recognition of God's mercy and compassion. It's such a sad state. At this sad state and confusion, there has to be the integrating force, and that integrating force is your spirit. That integration takes place in this 7th chakra of Sahasrara. All the 7 centers are there, and all the centers are coordinated and correlated. And that's how, at the 7th chakra only, you can get your realization. You didn't allow any one of them to say anything about it. If they tried to say anything, you brought out a book. Oh, see, this book is written, it is written so, and this is written so and so. Say, for example, when Christ was born, it was said that a child will be born to a girl, Kanya. In Sanskrit language is Kanya. Now, in England, there was a controversy about it. Now, I think the Jews started, maybe, I don't know who started, or maybe the Muslims. God alone knows. They go into all these details of the thing to find out. They said it was not said that he'll be born of a virgin, but it was said of a girl. So, one of the Sahajayoga wrote a nice letter to them, of course under my guidance, saying that at the time when Christ was born, even before that, this prophecy was made, and that time a girl meant a virgin. These are not modern times when a woman who is divorced 10 times and 80 years is her age and she's still called as my girl. These are foolish, stupid modern times where there's no difference between a girl and a woman. That time girl meant, even today in India, Kanya means a virgin. Girl means a virgin, it's the same thing. All such things have been raised against either Christ or Moses or Muhammad or this and that. I mean, they are only busy raising things against each other. That's what they are doing. According to them, what they say is the truth. What have they found? First thing, can they cure cancer? Let's see. Let's have this challenge. Can they give peace to anyone? Are they peaceful? Have they been able to get over their adulterous eyes? Any transformation? Nothing. So accept it. Be honest to yourself. You have no business to cheat yourself for anything whatsoever. If you are hypnotized, awaken yourself. Arise and find what is the best, absolute, and the only thing that you have to find, your spirit. Your spirit resides in the heart. It is the reflection of God Almighty. It enjoys itself by itself. It is the spectator of the work of its power. the Holy Ghost. It watches you and is called as the knower of the field. It knows what you are doing, what are your aspirations, what mistakes you are committing. It goes to a long extent to forgive and forgive and forgive. Forgiveness is one of the qualities of the Spirit. It forgives you and says, it will work out, it will come around. But when you go too far, say if you pay too much attention to your physical being or to your mental being, if you try to think too much, the Spirit indicates its displeasure and you get a heart attack. Heart attack comes to you through displeasure of the Spirit. If the Spirit is angry with you, you get a heart attack. That means you have neglected your Spirit, you have paid attention to things which are not important. You have looked after things which are not important. You have not worried about yourself about the Spirit, about your seeking. Even if you lost, say in any fanatic behavior of reading some books and things and taking out certain things, remembering them by heart and then having an argument and course on it and all that, in all genuineness and goodness, but stupidity, then also you can get heart attack. Heart is very important. It sometimes gives you first warning by giving you a partial paralysis, because in the heart a sort of a resentment is created by the Spirit, which creates a clot, and that clot, when it goes into the brain, you get a partial paralysis, so that you do not move any further. Your attention is taken to it. Then you start thinking of God, thinking of all the things, and maybe if you come to Sahajayoga, you get cured, because again your Spirit forgives you. We are taking too much liberty with our Spirit. It is true, God has given you freedom, and He is not going to take away your freedom at any cost. You have to be absolutely free to choose whether to go to heaven or to go to hell. He is not going to force you. Only thing one can do is to explain to you and tell you that this is the way you go to hell. Even then, if you want to go, then what can anybody do about it? Even God, He doesn't want to challenge your freedom at all. He doesn't want to make you in any way bound to Him, like some people are bound, just bound without understanding. But He wants your complete liberation. So first stage is that you have to choose your liberation through your own freedom of choice. Now, up to this point, till you were human beings, there was no choice for you. But after becoming a human being, you were given the choice because you could develop well to understand what is right and wrong in your own freedom, so that you can enter into the kingdom of God as people who are free and have chosen good in their own glory and in their own freedom. This is the only small little step where we always confuse our freedom with our ego. For example, now this hall is here, say, for me to speak. Right? Somebody comes from outside who has been sort of worked up in some sort of an organization and thinks that he's doing the greatest work in the whole world in such a myth. Comes down here in that ego state, sits down here, asks me questions after questions, questions after questions, questions after questions, doesn't allow anybody else to speak, takes away all my time to himself, as if this hall is booked by him and all the audience is gathered by him. He is least bothered as to see that this is an ego that is working. So we should not confuse our freedom with ego. That's what I have to give you a counsel. Try to differentiate your ego from your freedom. When you are ego bound, you are a slave of your ego. When you are super ego bound, you are a slave of your super ego, of your conditioning. For example, you are born a Christian, you are a Christian. You are gone forever then. Alright, you are a Christian, but what about real Christianity within you? What about your rebirth in the real sense of the word? So you become enslaved to these things, so there is no freedom. And spirit is the freedom, is the free being within us. It is detached. It cannot be killed. It cannot be blown away. It cannot be burnt away. It is eternal, Anant. It is eternal. That spirit is joy. That spirit is the source of joy. That emits joy. Joy is different from happiness and unhappiness. Ego, when it feels pampered, it feels happy. I like it, I like it. This I business is ego pampering. That is not joy, because you like to drink today and tomorrow you don't like to have a headache. It has the double side of I like and I don't like. You like something through your ego, dislike through your superego. So it is a one coin and they have two faces, one is happiness, another is unhappiness. Joy is beyond that. Joy is a drama. Seer is a witness. You see a drama, you know it's a drama going on, you just watch it as a drama. You are not involved and you are seeing it and enjoying it. You are crying if you see something, you are weeping, but you know you are not that. It's a drama. Seer, the witness. Your spirit is the witness. And when you become the spirit, you become the witness. You become the witness. For example, you are seeing something through a window. There's something exists in the window, for example. Now, you enter inside the room and you see through the window. Your conditioning is like one wave arising in you as a thought which comes from the past. It rises again, another thought comes up and goes in the past. First the past thought is there and then another future thought is there, it disappears. You see the thought rising but you can't see the disappearing of the thought. In between that is the present. That's the place is established, that present is established when your attention becomes enlightened by the spirit. Either you think of the future or of the past. But I say now, at this moment, at the present. You cannot stand there because your spirit is not enlightened. Because spirit is the present. When you get your realization, you find that you are not thinking of the future or the past, you are just enjoying. Everything becomes different. The whole life becomes a drama and the joy out of it starts coming out. And you really enjoy small things here and there. And you really understand how much joy was lost before realization. This is not your mental thing that gives you joy. But the joy pours on you from your head just like this, a cool thing starts pouring down. As some people have a feeling of the tension rising up, it's the same way a cool sort of thing, flow of joy you feel in your whole body pours out. Sometimes this cool breeze that rises in the head also starts becoming like a fountain pouring down that joy. You look at the pictures, for example, see this star of Moses. You see David's star, you see that. When you see that, you can think about it. Or else you just watch this. Watch it and don't think. The joy of the creation of that thing, whole thing, becomes one with you. Like all the creation around, a lake is completely felt in the lake if the lake has no ripples. Completely. In the same way, all that is joy. The Creator, whosoever it may be, has put there. You get the complete joy within yourself because there is no thought. There is no barrier, no conditioning. The whole thing becomes one with you and you start feeling extremely happy, extremely joyous. A feeling which is indescribable. It is to be just enjoyed, to be felt. Like Kabira was asked, why don't you speak now? So he says in Hindi language, he's one of the terrific poets we have. He says, Jab mast hue fir kya bole? When I have gone into the nectar of the intoxication, of the spirit, now what can I talk? There's no word. No cup can fill this joy. No words can fill this meaning. You better be with me and get it and enjoy yourself. That's all he could say. That's what I say, the narrow vision has closed your eyes to so many things. Even Christ you cannot understand. About Christ is written in Devi Mahatmya, about Mahavishnu. All his life is written. If you can read it, you can find out that before coming on this earth, you will see how he was created, what powers he was given, how he is the Son, and all that is written. But for us, only we think that Bible is the authority. It is. But even to understand that Bible, as I told you to understand Gita, you better get realization. In the same way, to understand that Bible also, you have to get your realization. The one about whom it is described had never been to a school. None of them have been to any school. For the first time in this life, I have learned this English language. I never knew this language in any one of my lives before. Because I knew I'll have to talk to you and I'll have to tell you about spirit in this language. But to understand it, we have to read ancient scriptures. Beautiful ancient scriptures are there. It describes the nature of the spirit. It said that spirit has got three qualities. Sat, Chit, Anand. Sat, Chit, Anand. Sat means truth. Chit means attention. Anand means joy. Sat is the truth. What is the truth now? If you see something white, it is the truth. All right. But what is the truth of this shore? A realized soul can know. Not you. Because his spirit is enlightened. He sees the fifth dimension of this shore. Let him hold it in his hands and he will know that this is Mother's shore. Immediately he'll feel those cool vibrations coming out of it. He'll know that this is Mother's shore. That is the truth. The four dimensions which we know of is not the truth, but the fifth one, which is the truth, which is the spirit. Sitting down here, you can find out about anybody, what is he suffering from, what are his problems, what are his chakras, is absolute. This knowledge is absolute. If you have 5 or 10 children who are realized, and if you tie their eyes, and ask them about a patient which is suffering from, they will all raise their fingers, this, or this, or this, or all of them. Whatever may be the case. All of them will raise the same fingers. It is absolute knowledge. It cannot be argued, It cannot be refuted. It is what it is. And also, today the man may be having these problems, tomorrow he may not have at all. So then, whatever was there is finished, whatever is today, that's what they are going to tell. So it is the truth. The rest is all is mithya, is false. I was once going in Kashmir, driving through some very remote corner, and suddenly I felt tremendous vibrations in the air. And I asked the driver, is there any temple here or something? Because in Kashmir there are many temples which are vibrating. So many things have come out of the Mother Earth, as it is said in the 10th commandment, that thou shalt not worship anything that is created by the Mother Earth. Reproduce and worship it. There are many places in Kashmir like that. So I asked him, he said, no, there is no temple, there are no Hindus live in this area. I said, but still I feel tremendous vibration. So my husband told the driver, all right, let's go the way she says. So we followed about 3 miles and we reached a colony of people who are Muslims living there. So we went and asked, is there any temple here? He said, no, but there is one great mosque. So what mosque is that? Well, this is Hazrat Iqbal. That means one hair of Hazrat Muhammad Sahib. Of Muhammad Sahib's one hair was there. And even now, to take his name, the vibration starts flowing. How can I deny him? He was the truth. Spirit will not deny. It's the falsehood that denies all these real people. It's the spirit that gives you the truth, which integrates all that is truth and throws away that is untruth. That's why you must get your spirit. Before that, anybody talks to you about God, about anything, they can even crucify. They are such stupid, foolish people that they can do anything. They'll argue with you, they'll fight with you, they'll do all kinds of stupid things, but understand you. This is what my father told me. Now you have to find out Amas method by which you give realization to many people so that they see that there is something beyond. They are all standing on the first floor. If you are born on the 10th floor and you tell them something that you see on the 10th floor, they are not going to believe. They'll fight with you, they'll quarrel with you, they'll pull you down because their ego is challenged all the time. So best thing is to transform them. Give them mass realization. That is what is the spirit is. That every one of you have got spirit. But it was very difficult in those days to give mass realization. The blossom time had not come. Today the blossom's time has come. And the wind that blows, the cool wind, gives realization to so many of them. Thousands of people have got realization. You also, many of you have got your realization. So this spirit is established. You feel you are something different now. The transformation has started, the baptism has been done in the actual sense. When you start feeling it's moving, you feel the cool breeze. Now, when you take to your collective being, you become one with others also. You try to give. Now you are taking from me. When I go, you stand here and give. When the lamp is not enlightened, then all right, try to enlighten it. After the enlightenment, what does the light do? Is to give the light. Spirit gives you your meaning. Spirit gives you your understanding of the truth that is reality, not unreal things. Me you cannot understand if you are not realized. You cannot. I am just like you. It's no difference. But those who are realized know about me very well. Even living in Rangoon, a saint who met one of the Sahaja Yoginis, she was an American, and he just bowed to her and made her sit higher than him. He said, "You have met Mother. I haven't yet met her." And she was surprised. That how did you know all these things? There are so many saints in India who are real saints, who know about me. But those who are very close to me also, because my husband is highly placed in life, and we have friends who are very elite and I've seen all the best, the prime ministers of the world I've met, and I've met all sorts of kings and queens and this and that, and every day I'm shaking hands with them. They don't know me. They don't recognize me. There was a gentleman whom we knew very well. He is now the president of the High Court, World High Court. And we knew him very well, a great friend of my husband and all that. And suddenly his wife saw my photograph with he's a Maharaja of some place, one of the Maharajas having in his pocket. So the Maharaja suddenly took out the photograph and put it to his eyes and put it back. So she said, "What, this is such and such lady, I know her very well." He said, "Yes, but don't you know she's the Mataji who has cured me of my heart trouble?" She said, "Really? I didn't know she was a Mataji or anything. She comes to the party, she's very quiet, she just sits quietly. I've never even heard her speaking. For the last 25 years I know she speaks very little. Oh God, she gives lectures and there are thousands of people. Can she speak?" She's surprised. We've never seen her speaking anything. I won't be able to recognize her voice. Even my husband, of course, he speaks a lot, and her husband also speaks a lot. I also speak, but I've never heard speaking anything. She just keeps quiet, sometimes musing to herself. She seems to be dignified lady, but otherwise she never makes any efforts to impress us or in any way tell that she's Mataji. Immediately the husband got such a shock, and he immediately telephoned to my husband. "I never knew she was a Mataji. It was such a thing. You knew I'm a seeker and a seeker." And he said that, so my husband said, "She's now in Delhi, you go and meet her." Immediately he sent for me, and he got his realization in five minutes. But his wife didn't get it. So he sent her by plane that you better get it. This is the thing one has to get. Now the emphasis that you have to be your spirit is very much reduced in the modern society. The emphasis should be that your spirit is to be achieved in this lifetime. This is what one has to do, is the only thing one has to do. That is not there in the Western societies. Secondly, for this you have to control your attention. Don't allow your attention to spill out. I hope I told you the story of Janaka. Did I tell them? I don't know, but I'll again repeat. Like there was Raja Janaka, the father of Sita, father-in-law of Rama. And Narada went to him, another celestial being. He went to see him and he said, "How is it? You are a king, you move about like a king, you have everything like a king, you have gold and everything. And how is it people say that you are a Videhi, means you are above all these things, above your body? How is it?" He said, "All right, I'll tell you in the evening, but just now do me a job. You carry some milk in this pot." The pot had no rim also. So poor fellow was carrying that. The whole day he was carrying, got tired. He said, "Don't allow even a drop to spill out." He was looking at it all the time. In the evening he got tired, he put it there. He said, "Now, will you tell me, have I had enough of this?" He said, "What did you see when you were moving about with me?" He said, "Nothing. What could I see? I was just watching this milk, that it should not spill out." He said, "In the same way, I am at that stage where my attention does not spill out. That is the stage where you are achieving your self-realization, where the attention is completely enlightened by your spirit. It doesn't envelop anything like that. And even if it goes round, it comes back as it is. My hand, when it touches it, it doesn't become this metal, does it? It comes out. It's absolutely detached from this. I can touch it, but I am not that. Just now I am matter. I am everything. I am worried about my children, my house, this thing. But when I become realized, I get completely detached. I am a spiritual living being. Then nothing can keep you down. Nothing can dominate. And you do not dominate anything. That is the state of the spirit. When that happens, you become beyond dharma, sustenance. You're beyond it. For example, there is no temptation for such a person. There's no temptation. There's no mental activity either. There is no stealing, not telling lies. Such a person is extremely honest and fearless. Like Christ. He had nothing to do with a prostitute. I mean, she was a different style, he was a different style. But when people started stoning a prostitute, he stood up before them and asked, who are the ones who have not committed the sin? They could have stoned him. But his honesty and his strength stopped it. They will stand by all those who are tortured and troubled by people who are oppressive. They are not afraid of any, they are fearless people. Neither they frighten anyone, they are compassionate. But when it comes to protesting, they stand up fearlessly against those who try to torture and ruin others. There is no oppression. Even I cannot force you to get realization. I cannot argue it out with you. It has to work out. It is as simple as that. If you do not want it, you can never get it. Out of question. So that is always I say that if you don't want to get it, you better go away. But still some obstinate people will sit there. No, I'll sit here. For what? Such people also give out very bad vibrations to others. And they disturb others getting their realization. It's satanic. Still I make them sit, all right, sit down. You cannot force it. It's a light within you, a flicker. And the analogy could be like the gas that rises and touches the flicker and the whole gas gets enlightened. The flicker is awake all the time and watching. Then the whole thing becomes the truth. Truth is very different from what we know as truth. It's a new dimension by which we know this is the truth and this is not the truth. You can ask any questions when you are connected with your spirit. Ask any question. Ask a question about me. You can ask a question about Christ, about Moses, about God. Ask any question. And when the answer is yes, you will get cool breeze coming into you. If you ask any negative questions, you lose your vibrations. Might get tingling, might get heat. Because now your computer is connected with the absolute and the rapport has been established of the truth. This is a new awareness you get by which you become aware of truth, which is the vibratory awareness. Through vibrations, a child also can know. There are many children who are born realized. And they know where is the Kundalini. They know. They will tell you where is the Kundalini. It's the truth. Because they know the truth. For that you don't need too much of mental development. They are very dignified. They understand it better than many elderly people and people who are placed very highly in life. Christ has already said that rich men are not going to enter into the kingdom of God. He's already said, because they are running. But I would say even those who think they know a lot, all knowing, they will not enter. because they do not want to enter. They know everything. They do not want to enter inside. They want to carry their mind everywhere. They want to carry their car inside the hall. How will they enter inside? They are not willing to keep their mind outside because they have always depended on that mind, which has given them nothing. But to achieve spirit, you have to come there egolessly, to receive. The light of your being is going to enlighten the whole thing, your temple. And when this light comes in, when this light shines in you, then you can feel your collective consciousness. You can feel it, the cool breeze of the spirit manifesting through you. Is described in the Bible in very short but deep. But Adi Shankaracharya has written such a big book on this called as Saundarya Lahari or Chaitanya Lahari. It is not easy to talk about all these in such a short time. He wrote treatise of philosophy, great personality he was, called as Viveka Chudamani. First of all, he gave the conscience the call. Where is your conscience and all that? Viveka Chudamani. Then he wrote many books and ultimately he wrote Saundarya Lahari. In that he says, it's only the description of the beauty of my mother I can describe. And into all details he has described nothing but the mother. Her fingers, her hands, her movements and everything, and what he saw, how the vibrations flew in her, every words that she spoke. You have to read that book to understand Sahaja. It's very clearly given all these things. As I told you the other day, William Blake also has written about Sahaja very clearly. But unless and until you have realization, you cannot know the truth. So he is the truth, Sat. Then his chit is attention. He is the attention. Your spirit is the attention. Attention of God. God is attentive to you through your spirit. And when your attention is enlightened by Him, that means you come in the attention of God. You are looked after by God. All His powers flow into you. All His protection comes to you. You'll be amazed, there will be here Sahajogis who will tell you how they avoided accidents, what happened after accidents, and miraculously how people are saved. It is nothing new to me. This is the minimum that can happen to a person. This is the minimum of minimum, because all the angels, they take charge. You are on the stage. The angels are there to look after you. And you really start gradually feeling the presence of that blessing, which is the attention of God. So He is the Chit, Sat Chit and Anand. He is the joy. He is the joy. Because God is joy. He created this universe not to make us serious and unhappy and sulky. See how many flowers, how many beautiful things, how many colors, what He has created for us. For us to enjoy, He has created all this world, not to indulge into nonsense, into filth, into dirt. The dirt of the mind, the sin, the filthy ideas. But to have a clean heart and to have a clean morality within us. He created this beautiful world for us to enjoy. Without that you cannot enjoy. You cannot enjoy. Unless and until you have a clean morality within you, you cannot enjoy yourself. And that joy is your own once you get your realization. This joy is the compassion and grace of God. When the Kundalini first rises through a one small little thread, She touches the Brahmarandra here. Just one thread she opens, then the grace, the joy. Because here is the seat of Sadashiva, here is the seat of your spirit. When it touches the speed, that seat, the flow of the grace starts coming on your sympathetic nervous system and you feel relaxed. First thing happens to you, feel relaxed. Is the grace. Only one thread has reached. And then the flow that is flowing today, this one is the Brahma, is the power of God flowing through you. This is what you have to get. This is what you would remember. Somebody touched Christ and the power went. For us, it is necessary to know that we are the first Australians to get realization. We are the first people to get it. And it's a great responsibility on you, all of you who have got realization today and before, to keep it strong, make it into a tree, because you are responsible for all the progeny that is going to come to this beautiful land of yours by which you are blessed. So this is the beautiful place and the beautiful people, so many children of mine. Today is the last day. It's a very sad thing that one has to say goodbye. I hope you all will make it convenient to come and see me on Sunday. I'll be looking forward to you. There I will try to cure you also if you have any problems, but don't bring all the hospitals there. I will teach you how to cure and how to give realization. Best thing is you bring the case to me and I will tell you how to cure yourself, because if you are realized souls, you can cure also. We always in India do, when a cancer patient comes in, we call one of his relations, give him realization, teach him how to cure cancer, and he looks after the patient. Because that's the best way one can do it. He can give realization to that person, he can look after better, he knows the person better, and it works out much better that way. So I hope you'll make it convenient to come and see. I must say I was very much impressed by Sydney people who have been so kind to come here and listen and get the realization. I have to say that because I am a mother. I cannot just leave it to your senses. I have to ask, I have to request you. I have to be very, very patient with you, extremely patient and loving, so that you listen to me and take your realization. I have to actually goad you to do that. It's all right. That's mother's job. Only mother can do it. When Christ will come, he'll take his 11 powers and will just sort you out. Before that, please have yourself completely judged through your Kundalini awakening and work it out. Those people who have come with ideas of their own should just go and see for themselves what have they achieved by these ideas. There have been so many organizations, one after another. There's no way to organize God. Better organize yourself through your spirit, which is the Absolute. May God bless you.